People are starting to lose it, man. This story's brutal. Gallery owner who casually hosed down homeless woman camped outside his upmarket San Francisco business defends himself, saying she had been violent and neighborhood had tried to help her for 10 days. I'm going to come right out and just say, I don't believe this guy when he says that this homeless woman was being violent. At the very least, I don't believe she was being violent to him at the time that he hosed her down. She may have been violent. She may have been. And that I can believe. No. What I mean is, look at this. Look at this still. Dude just straight up hosed down some homeless woman. You know what? I got to say, people are fed up. They're fed up. The cities like San Francisco, there's poop all over the ground. But I got to add something, dude. Now, I don't know this guy. Collier Gwynn, who runs Foster Gwynn Gallery, came under fire for his actions. We'll get into the story. I got to say, dude, I'm going to go ahead and say it is a safe bet that you vote Democrat. Sorry, I just think it's a safe bet that you do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't pass judgment. Maybe you are one of those guys who wants to vote for a better city, but you live there as a holdout, refusing to give up hope. San Francisco is a hive of scum and villainy. I think San Francisco's got a lot of great stuff going on for it. I've been there several times. There's good food. There's good people. There's a Starbucks across the street from a Starbucks, just off Market Street. Makes no sense, but sure, whatever. No kidding. I went to Starbucks and there was a huge line. And then I was like, man, this sucks. And then someone said, go across the street. And I was like, huh? And literally across the street was another Starbucks. Not exaggerating. Literally walked across the street, another Starbucks. Crazy. The city's busted and it's broken. And all these people who live here keep voting for the same people, for the same policies. And this is what you get. I'm willing to bet this is actually a story of a guy who's sick and tired of a homeless person sleeping in front of his building and nothing being done about it. And he snaps and just spritzes her down. Not the solution, dude. Spraying someone down. That person's there because of failed policy. But you don't get to, in San Francisco, vote for this over and over and over again and then get mad when it negatively impacts you. Now, again, I don't know that this guy voted Democrat. I'm just saying, I go to the casino. I understand the odds. You go to play roulette, fun game. You want to put chips down on black or red. Now, the average person says it's 50-50. You got half black, you got half red. There's 0 and 00, depending on your casino. That gives the house its edge. So anyway, my point is, not to get into the whole casino stuff, the amount of people in San Francisco who vote Democrat is so high, you'd be stupid not to bet on the idea that this guy votes Democrat and then gets mad about it. But again, I don't know. I don't want to falsely accuse someone. Daily Mail reports the owner of an art gallery in San Francisco who was caught on camera spraying a homeless woman with a hose pipe has defended his actions. In footage shared on social media, Collier Gwynn, who runs Foster Gwynn Gallery in the financial district, leans against the gate of a restaurant and continues to spray the woman despite her yelping with discomfort. Local businesses were quick to condemn his actions, while scores of enraged social media users left dreadful reviews online, causing the gallery's rating on Google to plunge to just 1 star. Discussing the incident, which took place on Monday, Gwynn said, "I've been here for 40 years. We have tons of homeless people, but they haven't been in a situation where they get that violent. 10 days of the neighborhood, within 10 days of the neighborhood trying to do something. We have been able to get them taken to a shelter, which they leave immediately." Can confirm. I worked for a homeless shelter. Often, the people don't want to be there. They're told what to do. They're told when they got to be in. They're told what they got to wear. People want freedom. They don't want to be told what to do. Emily Mills says, "I feel for you." Darren McKeeman tweets, "I just went down and confronted him during an interview with the Chronicle, and he defended himself." Here's the video. Oh, I don't. Oh, is this audio not coming in? Okay, the audio's not coming in. I'll fix that later. Anyway, he said basically the same thing we already read. We've been in a situation, 40 years, homeless people, violent. There it is. There's the clip where he's just leaning up against a fence, legs crossed, just spritzing her down. Sorry, dude. I think this is a story. Here you go. Look at this. She's not being violent to him. He's just spraying her with a hose. And he says, "Move. Move." That's it. Look at that, dude. She's not being violent. He's just spraying with... That's so brutal, dude. I can understand his anger and frustration. Yo, this says something, doesn't it? Move, move. That's it. He wants her to move. He doesn't want her in front of his store. Yo, there was a story a couple years ago of some lady in Sacramento. She had like a hair salon and she had to shut the salon down because I guess what happened was a homeless person was sleeping in her doorway and she was like, how people got to come in the building, and they were taking a dump right there in front of her building. Like she'd walk up and there'd be like crap everywhere. You keep voting for it. It's funny because people, I tell people like, you got to vote. Ballot harvesting is huge. We got to get this. We got to win. You can vote. Donald Trump is proof. Seriously, like Donald Trump won. And then there's people saying like voting doesn't matter. There are people on the right being like, we can't vote our way out of this. And it's just like, dude, look at California. They keep voting for the same thing. So if your argument is that voting does work, but we can't convince these morons to vote for their own interest, I hear you. Ballot harvesting is the answer. Ballot chasing, whatever you want to call it, legally, securely. Just go tell people, fill it out. Let's fix this stuff. It will work. Because you look at people in California, and I tell you, these people are going to keep voting Democrat. They're going to be like, I'm sick and tired of the homeless problem. I'm sick and tired of the feces in front of my store, but I'm going to vote Democrat. I think I'll vote Democrat to solve this problem. I'm from Chicago, man. Let me tell you. You've got gangs, you've got crime, you got violence, and then people every 2 years, every 4 years go, you know, the gun violence has never been worse. I'm going to vote Democrat to solve the problem. And you're like, dude, I don't know if the Republicans have the answers to these problems, but I can tell you this, try something different. Maybe if you keep sticking your hand on the electric stove and burning yourself, you might want to consider not doing that. They keep doing it. And then you get this absolute control, and this is what happens. They don't want to solve the problem because they'll campaign off of it. The reporter from the video said, I've listened to her talk to the people and saying, no, this is the way I want to live. My idea of cleanliness is not your idea of cleanliness, Gwynn replied. That's fine as long as she knows what she's saying. After admitting to being the man in the hosepipe video, Gwynn also tried to defend his actions, claiming the woman had become psychotic and was turning over garbage cans. I said, you have to move. I cannot clean the street. Move down. She starts screaming belligerent things, spitting, yelling at me. At that point, she was so out of control. I spray her with the hose and say, move, move. I will help you. Maybe. Maybe. For real. But either way, there's a video of a lady sitting on the ground and he's hosing her down. Here's what I think happened. I think dude just got sick of it like so many other people. And he says, that's it. I'm spritzing you. It's not appropriate, man. If you've got a broken system, and these people just keep supporting it and funding it, my advice, get away from the cities. Go out somewhere else. I got to tell you, my friends, I warned y'all to go buy chickens, but you didn't listen. Some of you did. Now a carton of eggs, $9. Anyway, that's my point. Get away from this stuff. Get away from it. Go to a different city. Is it hard? Yes, it may be. But if you want to live around this, then so be it. But I will also say, if this guy is a Democrat voter, stay. Stay. For you have reaped what you have sown, and you deserve it. You deserve what you vote for. I'm not saying to be a dick. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying if you vote for these things, then these things happen to you. Why would I complain? I am not going to live in this perspective that you don't want it. Dude comes out, votes Democrat. I'm not saying this guy did. I'm just saying people will vote Democrat. The homeless problem gets crazy. They won't speak up. They'll revel in it. And then I'm supposed to be mad about it? Nah. Let me tell you a story about San Francisco, my friends. So I did some guest segments for Discovery. Check out the one we did on nuclear, how powerful are modern nuclear weapons. It's me hosting it. It was good fun. And I don't know which episode I did. I did a bunch for Discovery. It was a lot of fun. I like those guys. And I leave, and I'm like, thanks for having me. It was fun doing this. I'm going to go and grab some food. And I went to some Mexican restaurant. And I'm wearing a hoodie and jeans and a beanie and a backpack. And I walk into the front door, and it says, please wait to be seated. And I'm standing there. And the hostess just keeps walking by, not saying anything. And I'm like, what's going on? So then I'm like, okay, I guess if I want food, I'll have to walk in. So I walk into the store, and I'm like, excuse me. And she goes, what? And I was like, can I have food? And she goes, yeah, have a seat. What I think happened was she probably assumed I was just another homeless guy trying to use their bathroom or something. Maybe. I was just wearing a hoodie, a beanie, and a backpack, and she's like, oh, here we go. Instead, I ordered a big meal, and I tipped very well. I don't blame them for thinking that, I guess. But the problem is these people live in these cities. They vote for this. Deep down in their hearts, they say, my city is broken. These policies don't work. Instead of speaking up and saying this is untenable and it must be stopped, they go, I'm a good, virtuous citizen. I'm good and virtuous. This bad man with hose. Okay, fine. Live in your squalor. Live in your lockdowns. Surround yourself with human feces. If that's what you want, I will leave. But I tell you, I warn the red cities and the red states, you better prepare for the mass exodus of people like this who will come to your city or town and vote Democrat. That being said, I think what we saw with Florida and Texas is quite the opposite. People showed up and voted heavily in the other direction. So let me just end by saying, my friend, dude, Mr. Gwynn, I get it. It's bad, okay? But don't hose people down like this. That's just so awful. This is not the solution, but I can understand the frustration. Ain't no reason to spray someone down with the hose like this. It's not the most violent thing in the world. Someone got wet. Makes them uncomfortable, I guess. But look, if y'all are going to keep voting this way and you're going to live in it, then you'll reap what you have sown. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes right here on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all then.